In his senior year at Harvard, Barrett decides to do his studying at the Radcliffe Library. It is quieter and has plenty of women. One of the young women working there today is a bespectacled mouse type, and he asks her to help him find a book. She is not helpful. In fact, she insults him by calling him preppy and saying that he looks stupid and rich. Barrett assures her he is smart and poor. She assures him it is she who is smart and poor. When she takes her glasses off to argue with Barrett more effectively, he sees her eyes are brown, but he will not let a Cliffy call him dumb, even if she has pretty eyes. She claims to be smart because she would never have coffee with him. When Barrett says he would never ask her, she claims that is what makes him stupid. Barrett takes her for coffee only because he gets to study the book he needs while he waits for her. When she steps from behind the counter, he approves of her legs, but not her too bohemian outfit. They go to a nearby sandwich shop, where she finally introduces herself as Jennifer Cavallari, a music major of American-Italian descent. He introduces himself as Oliver Barrett, but omits the fourth. He is thankful she does not associate him with Barrett Hall, the largest and ugliest building in Harvard Yard. His family is rich and vain and suffers from flagrant Harvardism. Soon they sit in silence, and Barrett is afraid they have already run out of conversation. He looks at her notebooks and comments on her advanced music classes. She insults him by again calling him preppy and claims his family built Barrett Hall, so she does know who he is, only to ensure that his pitiful self would be admitted into Harvard. Barrett wonders why, if she thinks so little of him, Jenny practically bulldozed him into buying her coffee. Jenny looks directly at him and smiles as she tells him she likes his body. As he walks Jenny back to her dormitory, Barrett is determined to win over this snotty Radcliffe bitch. He is not kind when he nearly demands that she attend the Harvard hockey game against Dartmouth Friday night. She irreverently demands to know why. When he tells her he is playing, there is a brief silence before she asks him for which team he is playing. Barrett makes sure Jenny gets a program at the hockey game so she can read his biography and, he hopes, be impressed. Though he never even looks up at her. Barrett plays to impress her, and ends up in the penalty box for fighting. Suddenly behind him, he hears Jenny taunting him for sitting here while his friends are all playing. Barrett explains he was penalized for trying too hard. When she asks him if he is a dirty player, he does not answer because he is too busy boasting that he is going to total one of his opponents. When Jenny asks whether he would ever total her, Barrett is abrupt and says he will do so right now if she does not stay quiet. Jenny leaves immediately. Barrett returns to the ice and plays hard, but manages to find a second to look for Jenny on the stands. He catches a glimpse of her, but in his distraction, he is dumped on his rear by an opponent. Immediately, he recovers and plays with a vengeance. He hears Jenny screaming at him to knock their heads off. It was exquisitely violent. Barrett scores and Harvard wins the game. After the game, Barrett has to sit in the whirlpool for a bit because of a bad knee. And he hopes Jenny will still be waiting for him. When he finally emerges from the building, it is dark and a few fans are still gathered. He does not see her until she pops out from behind a bush. Barrett is so thankful to see her that he kisses her, for a very long time. Jenny does not like the fact that she likes kissing him. Barrett walks Jenny to her dormitory and tells her he might not call her for a few months, or he might call her as soon as he gets back to his room. She hates his taunting, but Barrett simply points out that she can dish it out, but she can't take it. Back at his dorm, Barrett's roommate is playing poker with some buddies, who tease Barrett about Jennifer Cavallari, whom they call the wonky music type. Barrett closes his door and calls Jenny. They talk in whispers, and he eventually tells her he is in love with her. She tells him he is full of shit and hangs up on him. Barrett is neither unhappy nor surprised. In the hockey game against Cornell, Barrett gets hurt in a serious fight. His father, Oliver Barrett III, drove from Boston to see the game and is now impassively watching his only son sit in the penalty box as if he were doing Barrett and Harvard a favor by attending this hockey game. Harvard loses the Ivy League title in a rough game, 6-3. After the game, X-rays reveal that Barrett has no broken bones. But he gets 12 stitches in his cheek and a warning not to play for a week. By the time Barrett leaves, no one is left in the locker room. Outside, his father makes no comment on his son's injury other than to say that Barrett must be hungry. At dinner, the two men have one of their usual non-conversations full of veiled recriminations by both of them until the elder Barrett asks about his son's future plans. Though Barrett has applied to law school, he is not certain that is what he wants to do. His father offers to make a phone call to ensure Barrett's acceptance, but his son adamantly rejects the offer. Barrett III assures his son that he would not object if his son entered the Peace Corps. But Barrett is noncommittal. Barrett III finally drives away in his Aston Martin at 11:30. He likes to drive too fast, and the trip home to Boston will not take him long. At the motel, Barrett calls Jenny and recounts the game, at least most of it, and he can tell she particularly enjoys hearing about the fight. She wonders whether he at least totaled the player who hit him, and Barrett assures her he creamed him. Jenny wishes she could have seen the fight and hopes he might beat someone up in the Yale game. Barrett smiles at her love of the simple things in life.